Hello everyone, my name is Henrik Kihlman. I also work at Protex Sweden. Today I will show you some what it will look like working in collaboration in 3DEXPERIENCE. So we have focused on the design review process. But before I start, you need to see that we are working in 3 different countries, in Norway, Sweden and in the UK. We are 34 employees in total, and we are a reseller of Dassault products, V5 also, but nowadays it's a lot of focus on 3DEXPERIENCE. And we act in different areas in production, and we work with high technology, and we see ourselves as trying to work with excellence rather than focus on the quantity. So that's us in a brief. And now I would like to start talking about what is 3DEXPERIENCE. And this is a view that I think many will recognize themselves in, at least in the past, but still there is a lot of issues when you try to work in teams in collaboration with other departments and so on. You can feel sometimes that there is a wall in between disciplines, and you try to move data in the product lifecycle process. You use probably a lot of emails to communicate. You might send files even via email sometimes. And when you want to show something, you create and prepare PowerPoints with screenshots. Some people might make a very nice database in a silo somewhere in the company which someone else cannot see, and so on. This is classical, typical problems in an organization from my experience. Today we have good solutions such as Teams, Skype, maybe Jira for Kanban process. So there's been a nice improvement for collaboration, but you see there is something missing, and that's to solve the daily work in the factory. It is to use Excel. That's how you run the factory many times. Of course, everybody has also very advanced systems, but when you everybody knows how to work with Excel and is comfortable there. The thing is, what we're trying to do with the 3DEXPERIENCE platform is to connect all these roles together so that they communicate seamlessly, and they do that in this so-called platform, which is called 3DEXPERIENCE. So I will show you how this can look like in a process. So what we're trying to do is to move away from the static way of thinking, where information is kept in silos, and many times you lose information because you're running in a separate system and so on. It's not evolutive. What we want to do is we want to work live in one single source of data. So it should be easy and feel nice to open up and see data. Everybody in the organization should be participating in 3D. So you should be able to view the actual development in 3D no matter what you do in the company. So you simply log into a web page and you can do everything there. So what we are striving for is to work in one source of truth. So that's how we can become even more effective. And today we will focus on the design review process. So what we want to do is we want to set up a scenario where you are working in collaboration. And we want to show how we can activate tasks, and how we can activate issues when we find a problem, and how we communicate between each other when doing this. Working this way enables us to go from the sequential engineering to concurrent engineering, where you can work in parallel because you share the data. What we're going to do is to use simulation as much as possible when we're actually doing the development work instead of building physical prototypes and so on. So you can reduce the time, so you can be quicker than your competition, and you can be cheaper if you want to, or earn more money. So this is why we do this, so to say. So this is the scenario. Okay, we have 3 actors. Eric, he is in this case a tool designer. He could be working with a factory layout, or he can work with any type of equipment, or maybe even product development work, and so on. So this is, we have chosen to set a role there as a tool designer to focus on something concrete that we are familiar with. John is a design leader, and eventually Eric and John will deliver this design to Sarah, which is their customer. So we will start with John. So I will go back to this as we move through the process, so see where we are. So John, he opens up this web page, which is taking him to the dashboard that he has prepared. So this dashboard is something that he shares with Eric. And in this case, you see, we can see perfectly everything in 3D. It's very quick to load, even a factory scale level into this web page here with different viewers. These features here, these rectangles here, they are called widgets. And here you have one widget which is called collaborative task. And he creates a task, which is basically to create the fixture, because this is just a white page. This is just an empty space right now in station 4. And in this case, you see there are not so many other activities. It should be many. But this right now is filtered on this line. So this side line for building this side of the car is filtered up here. So we will only see these activities there, and this is the first one he makes. He assigns Eric to do the work, and in this case he is attaching the station for Eric, so Eric knows where the fixture will be. And he saves this, and now it's in the to-do, and when John drags it into in-work, you can set the configuration of the system so that it goes away an email to Eric, so he knows, okay, I have something that I need to do. And that is the next step. So we're now done with creating this activity to design the fixture. And now we move on to number 2, which is Eric, who will design this fixture. And in this case, we have set it up so he will get an email notification that is there's something to do. And Eric clicks on that link, which takes him into the same dashboard, where he sees that, okay, I have something to do, and he moves this into work status. So this activity has a life cycle. We have attached not just the, I added also afterwards a PDF. You can add any Word documents, or maybe a link to your team environment or something like that. Everything he needs in this case to solve this activity, to do this work, we can attach. And in the bottom here you also see that there is a folder system that you can have more information if needed. But the attachment is to actually solve the task. And you saw that he could right click on the attached data, and this is now opened up in the client, which is actually the software that is installed. This is no more a web page. This is the native software of 3DEXPERIENCE. In this case, you can see we're working in plant layout design, which is a layout app inside 3DEXPERIENCE. It could be CATIA or something else. And I'm just showing a little bit that he brings in some body in white fixture modules. This could be any process, of course, in the design work. And this is the finished fixture in 3DEXPERIENCE. So Eric is now done with his activity. So now he wants to tell John that, okay, I'm done, so can you please review my work internally? And I need to mention this, that this is a view that the customer doesn't see yet here. So now he's done and he puts it into approval, and if you set it up that way, there is an email going away to John. If you don't want to have emails, you can use this notification functionality instead in the platform. There are various ways to work with that. It's now done, and we goes into number 4. And before we go into this step, we have done a small step which I'm not showing here, which actually is to create a clash simulation. So that has been done. So this is not done automatically, but I haven't time to show all those details. But actually, after the clash analysis simulation is done, John works on the web page again, the dashboard. So he doesn't have to have the native client installed to actually do this work here. And in this case, he, from one clash entity, he generates now an issue, and he assigns Eric to solve this issue because he found one clash there. In his review work, he can add screenshots or other documents into this issue if needed. And once he says start, that means that this activity is now started. And that means, in fact, that Eric will get a notification that there is an issue. And that is where we are now. We've done number 5, so we're going into number 6. So we're going back to Eric again, and he needs to solve this issue because now we are in this issue domain, so to say, where we have our internal review in the company. Eric opens up the same dashboard, but a different tab here in the dashboard, and he can see instantly all these issues in 3D that he is to work with. And you can see different color on different status. In this case, the orange color is the to-dos. He starts by putting this issue into in-work status. And there again is the fixture, and he opens it up from the dashboard, opening up the native client again. In this case, it's a product structure design app. And I make something very quickly here. So maybe, probably there will be more analytic work going on there to move it, but I just moved it with the compass. He wants to, you can see that he can interact with the issues in 3D if he likes, because it's a really nice summary of what I need to do on this station and this fixture. And in this case he wants to clarify, because maybe John has a lot of different things to do, so he doesn't take for granted that he remembers everything. So he makes a small DMU graphics here to clarify what he has done actually. So there are a lot of nice features here to create graphics to clarify. And directly here you can also make a shot, and this is a very nice feature because sometimes you can use this as a sign-off so that you can have the history. So when you go back over in a few years or whatever in the future, you can see the correspondence on this. You don't have to go through your email in your Outlook to see what we agreed on and so on. It's actually stored here on the issue, the complete history. And Eric now moves this, what he thinks is completed status. So he's done the work. And now when we move on to John again, he's not in his office because now he needs to accept this issue. And to be very effective, we cannot wait until tomorrow because this is actually in a hurry. So John gets an email when he's on the bus or whatever, and he doesn't have the laptop with him, but he has his phone. So what he actually does is open up the same dashboard which is now formatted for an iPhone in this case. And he can see exactly the same stuff that Eric saw, with all the exact same functionalities available. And he sees that this one needs to be reviewed and approved by John again. So actually I didn't show you that, but what you can do in addition, you can actually create simulations. In this case, Eric also created a simulation on the kinematics, how this clamp is moving relative to, so there is no clash in the movement and so on. So you can add a lot of different types of animations. So that was not a movie, that was an animation in the 3D. So you can pause and so on and rotate. So it's not an AVI, don't get confused with that. And he's on the run here, so he writes back that he's happy. So we remember that it was approved even here, even if we... So this can be used in a very flexible way, the way you prefer. So we just play around here and do a chat dialogue here. Of course, this can also be done. I took a screenshot on my iPad Pro here with a very nice padding here, so I can drop it on the floor, or it can handle water or whatever. So you can have it on the workshop floor. And in that case, it's very similar to have it working on the desktop, because it's a big screen. And you see and can do exactly the same stuff that you can do on the desktop with full 3D, and it runs really smoothly also on this. So that can be very nice. Maybe if someone want to use it for work instructions or whatever on the workshop floor, there's a lot of nice features for that. Okay, so now we are done internally. In this case, we want to continue, and John is now to invite Sarah for a team review meeting on the customer site. And in this case, he filters out, first of all, the line again, so you see all the activities on the line, and now he creates a task, an activity to invite Sarah. And in this case, there are a lot of nice functionality to allow Sarah to see this data. There is a lot of mechanism within the 3DEXPERIENCE platform that I'm not have time to go through now, but of course she cannot see everything that we do on our internal work. But either we create a bubble in the database which the customer can see, or we set some special security on the data that she can allow to see the data. So there's a lot of nice features for supplier or customer collaboration. Okay, so now Sarah got an email, but in this case John and Eric goes to the customer. So now I can show you how a typical design review meeting could look like, in fact. So now it's Sarah who's running the show. So she opens up this data, and she opens it up in the 3D markup app, 3D annotations. And it is very similar to PowerPoint. But in this case, it's not screenshots. It's actually the real-time data from the single source once again. So this is live data. And we can create nice slides with a lot of different graphics and text, and you can show 3D annotations such as drawing items, measures and stuff from a 3D drawing. So you can do a lot of nice things here. And in this case, she's not happy. She does not prefer the Universe. She wants them to use another brand. So she actually creates an issue directly from this PowerPoint-like app, which is called 3D Markup, in the meeting. So when John gets back home, he will open his email or whatever we set it up. It can be, as once again, it can be notifications on the dashboard directly. So he doesn't have to, make a separate documentation on this review meeting. And he gets back home and sees his email, and there might be some iterative work here. There is nothing called a final review meeting. It's basically when it's done, it's approved. So there can be some cycles going on both with the customer but also internally until we make the final approval, so to say. So John gets back home and, okay, there is an email or whatever we want to do about that to deal with this issue. Okay, what I didn't show in this demonstration is one very important topic. Many times you have project leaders also that working with a more holistic perspective in the design process. So there is a lot of nice functionality. Sometimes we say it by a joke that it's like having a Microsoft project integrated into your development environment. And that's true, but I would say it's an even more capable functionality than that. So in this case, you can look on different perspectives of your project. You can have like an overview of all your issues. You can have the classical Gantt chart or looking on your employees and so on and what's going on. I didn't show that because it was too many steps to go through, but I hope you can understand that there is a lot of nice features for that as well. So in summary, what I've shown is basically dashboards is the key to collaboration. And I would like to mention that dashboard has a lot of other nice purposes. When I'm working in the native client, so to say, I can use the dashboard on the side to administer data, search for data, and so on. So you can use that for a lot of nice features, but especially some OEM customers that we have been working with 3DEXPERIENCE, they really appreciate the sharing of data in your organization, because suddenly everybody in the company who has a login to the platform can access and see what's going on. So the person can see instantly the status. For example, if you're building a factory or you're doing something in the product development, the person can see what's going on right now and view the 3D data. So that's really, really nice. And we looked at the collaboration task, which is, I would say, the core of collaboration. Issues is very similar to collaborative task in a way. It also have a life cycle that you need to complete. We have the PowerPoint-alike functionality where you create slides, and here you see that maybe you just want to use this to maybe have a supplier who's going to manufacture something. You can look on the drawings, the 3D drawings. You can see the measurements and so on, that to basically show the views you select and so on from the design. And there's it's just your imagination that you can put into work there to imagine what you can do. I talked about the project management a little bit. Here you can see a Gantt chart and your employees and how they work together. So what's nice about this is it's very quick to get started. Basically, when we sell this to a customer, one administrator person gets an email, and that email means you go into the platform and create the users. No infrastructure to install locally. You don't need to involve even your IT organization. Probably you need to. I'm just joking, but it's very, very, very easy for even smaller companies to get started with this. And it's always up to date. As you saw with the mobile capability, you can actually access this anywhere, anytime, and so on any device. And what I've shown you now, there is no customization. Everything you've seen so far is out of the box.